at Vida Mission, and it still carries a special place in our hearts. And each year, when the conference truck goes around to the churches to collect food and other supplies to take to the mission, we thought this would be a good opportunity to remind you of the work that's done there and the need for your help in our outreach to the Navajos right here in our own backyard.
Vida Mission was founded in 1966, I believe. 60. And, 66 is when they built the clinic. Not one of them. It was founded because of a dream by a Navajo lady named Lily Neal. She was the first Adventist Navajo convert. She was born in 1900, but met the first Adventist missionaries to the reservation and became baptized. She became well known in the tribe. She was the first woman to sit on the tribal council, but her desire was for the children, for the Navajos to be educated in the love of God. One evening, she reports that she had a dream, and she dreamt that Jesus was standing in a circle of light, and she could hear the Navajo footsteps going by, but not stopping. And then she heard children's footsteps laughing and dancing around. But some of them walked into that circle of light and stayed, and Jesus welcomed them. And from that, she was determined that her people would have a Christian school for them to learn about the love of Jesus. And the work began, trying to find place and the funds to start a mission on the banks of Chaco Wash. That's 50 miles south of Farmington and 30 miles north of Crown Point, which is right in the middle of nowhere.
You might wonder why New Mexico is something the Colorado Conference, now the Rocky Mountain Conference, is concerned about. But San Juan County, New Mexico, is actually a part of the Rocky Mountain Conference. It was so isolated from the rest of the state of New Mexico that it was just much easier for their connection to be to Colorado.
And every year, the Colorado Conference sent a truck around for many years now to pick up clothing, food, supplies to bring to Vida Mission. And you have no idea the excitement that truck would generate. When we got there, Dick was supposed to be a teacher, and I was supposed to be the treasurer. But not long after you get there, to his duties were added boys dean. So he was in charge of 30 boys.
There's 3 requirements for being a missionary. The first one is flexibility. The second one is flexibility. And the third one is flexibility.
Right. In addition to my treasurer duties, I was asked to serve as girls dean. So that gave us 60 children to take care of and for me to cook for them 3 meals a day. So that truck with food became very important to me because our cellar would be bare when school started. There'd be very little food there and very few funds to go into town. Now, there is a food bank, and we utilized it a lot. But we'd always say, but the truck is coming. The truck is coming. So we'll hold on because the truck is coming. When it came, the upper grade students were let out of school, and they ran down to the cellar and helped unload the truck. And it was a fun time. They enjoyed it, and it gave them the knowledge that it wasn't just this handful of people here on the grounds with them. There were other people that cared about them, that wanted them to have food. And so that made a great impression on them. And we enjoyed taking students to churches to meet people out in the world, in the United States. We took students from Maine to Florida to California introducing people to La Vida Mission so that they'd understand that it was an important outreach to the Native Americans in that area.
At the time we were there, the main emphasis was on the school. As
Yeah.
Joan said, we had about 60 students. And it's amazing, many of those students today we're still in touch with, well, at least some of those students we're still in touch with. And we communicate on Facebook, and they wish us a happy Sabbath, and we get reports back, the activities in the churches they attend. Some of them attend the church at La Vida, some of them in Farmington, some of them live in other cities. But there are a number of students who are still connected to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, so the efforts weren't wasted. Now, today, the emphasis is more on community outreach. Of course, even when we were there, they had a clinic to supply medical needs to the community around the mission. Dr. Dunn used to fly down every other Wednesday to supply the doctor services at the clinic. He'd also fly down other times, like for Maranatha projects, when they built the church and when they built homes. And sometimes he'd come down just to help build cabinets or some other thing, because, you know, he was very good at that. He built a lot of cabinets and things around for the church here. In fact, he helped build the former church that we had here in Las Vegas.
Grand Junction.
I'm sorry, Grand Junction.
I was amazed when I read about the outreach that they are doing. We wanted to do more, but with 60 children, we didn't have a lot of time to go out. But we did visit their homes when we'd either take them home and sometimes pick them up. So that was our main thing, was, you know, our children's homes. Now they are really reaching the community outside of that. I read in the Navajo News of their first outreach in wanting to meet some of the needs that the people had during this COVID isolation. And they took bags of food from their cellar and what they could get at the food bank and so on. And they took bags to, I believe it was around 60 homes. They were surprised and gratified that this expanded. And they were able to take boxes of food to the people. And this has grown amazingly. They have now given out boxes of food, bags of food, water, cases of water. And the Navajo Propane Company heard about it, and they brought their truck up to the mission and filled propane bottles for people when they would come to get the food, which was very important to them. They were contacted by the health organization in Crown Point saying, can you come down here and work with us? Our people need help. So now they have gone to Crown Point and helped distribute food and other things. And along with the food, of course, I'm sure they have some literature going out too. But they are doing a wonderful work in reaching out to the people of that community. Dick mentioned that Maranatha built the church there. It's a nice church that has become a beacon for that whole area. They may not attend it, but it's their church. And so that is now being recognized as something very important for them.
So this November 8th, the truck will be at the Community Services building on Patterson. And you may bring your things that you want to donate at that point, or it might be even a little bit better if you'd bring them to church sometime before that. And there are boxes in the foyer of the church where you can leave your donations, and we'll see that it gets on the truck and delivered to La Vida Mission, and you will be doing a great service. Thank you.
And if you aren't able to do that, it's perfectly all right to make out a check to La Vida Mission. And you can either put it in the offering plate at church, you can give it to us, or you can send it to them. but that will give them flexibility in obtaining things that they might need. Any size of container is fine, you know, the number 10 cans and individual home style cans, because they'll be sending it out to the community and to the staff, as well as using it in the cafeteria. So all of that is needed, and it will make a great deal of impression on the people that are working. It'll really give the staff a boost. So we hope that you'll join in and reach out to your Navajo brothers and sisters.